I think it's great too to go through all these things. Like when I'm going through them, I'm just saying, oh, I have like a higher appreciation for what we go through. And it's not that we go through it for men, but we obviously feel better, and that's why we do it. But, women, we do a lot. We do a lot to be attractive, and you should give yourself, you're always saying, be kind to yourself. And I think this is along that same theme of just being appreciative of what we do and what we kind of.
I like to look attractive or feel attractive, even if I don't get to see my husband for days. I'm going to put that bra on. I'm not going to go without a bra, no matter who's around. I'm going to wear it, and I'm grateful to the scientists who figured that out, because it's made our life a whole lot more comfortable.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Fascinating Womanhood channel, where we talk about all things that have to do with femininity and building strong relationships. I am Cherry Lynn, and I'm here with Dixie and Forsyth. Hi.
Hi.
So we're doing something a little different today. We usually talk about more relationship-related topics. We wanted to look a little bit back into history with bras, corsets, and stilettos. We wanted to do something a little more fun today. So why are we talking about this history of all these somewhat torturous devices?
Yeah, that's true. I think it's really neat to understand our sex, to understand a little bit about our history. And this isn't about our history like with men. This is our history in fashion. And because women are always interested in attracting men. It's an interesting part of our history. And I originally put it in my book, and then it got too long, so I took it out. So I thought we'd give it to you here.
Yes. So let's dive in. So let's start with bras. So you want to tell us a little bit about
Yes, those of us who need a bra, do not consider them instruments of torture. It would be torturous not to have them. In the 60s, when the feminist movement tried that bra burning, it didn't work for the well-endowed gals. It just didn't. Going braless anytime you ran, you just thought, forget it.
Yeah.
It's a French word. Brassiere is a French word. And a bra is built like a cantilever bridge, and your breasts are actually suspended in your brassiere. It's not designed to have the straps totally hold them up, because that would be too painful. It's actually an engineering marvel that a bridge designer designs some of these bras, because we always deal with gravity. And, if your breasts were suspended by straps, that would just dig into your shoulders. And if you have an inappropriate one, it probably does. They have to be lightweight and comfortable. And they're actually kind of a miracle of science, which was interesting to me. And interestingly enough, the sports bra is very interesting too, because the sports bra was actually invented by a woman who wanted to run. We call them sports bras now because we use them for more than running. But originally they were for running, and she got this brilliant idea and got two men's jock straps, because they're designed for men, and she sewed them together and made the very first sports bra, which worked rather well. And so the sports bras of today aren't designed exactly like that, but that was the inspiration. Modern bras today have taken over 100 years to perfect. So next time you go to the store and you see them, you think, this is not an easy thing to have created. There's over $16 billion spent on bras worldwide. So clearly the bra burning movement was not effective.
Well, and I think what was the reason for the bra burning? Out there that aren't as familiar.
It's kind of throwing away feminine. Like they kind of acted like men made us wear bras. That's nonsense. Anyone who feels naked without their bra doesn't blame a man for putting her in it.
Yeah.
I certainly never have. And this is interesting too. You've been in sales before. Selling bras began because the public demanded it. It wasn't something that was created and then tried to be sold to the public. The public, meaning us women, we demanded it. Mm-hmm. And so it wasn't like someone invented them to try and make money. It was
there's a huge need when you go shopping for a bra to not only be sized or understand the sizing of that specific retailer, but getting help as to how to put it on and how it fits. Yeah. There's just so much that goes into finding the perfect bra.
If any of you have ever been miserable with a bra, you yeah, you know a little bit like what Cherry's
Yeah.
talking about.
Hmm.
Selling bras, they were first mentioned in Vogue magazine about 1907. And many of the first patents were taken out by women because obviously it's on our mind. Well, another interesting thing about bras is the sizes. We're familiar with all the sizes when we go to the store, but they're actually available in size from the smallest, like 28 AAA, and then to the largest 102 triple Z. And when I was a young girl, my mother first took me to the store because she thought I needed one. They called them training bras. And
Yeah, that's what they called them when I was.
and when I got married, Bob said, "What does it train you to do?" And I said, I guess to have the strapper on you. I don't know.
I think there is a level of when a girl is wearing her first bra, it can feel strange. And so saying it's a training one is almost like saying you're on a trial to see if you like the way this fits you. And it just makes the girl, I think, feel better about it. It's not necessarily about training your body. I don't know. I just don't understand, especially mothers, like especially if you're a nursing mother, how you would not be able to wear bras. I'm so thankful for bras.
It didn't last long. I am very grateful for bras, and whoever designs them and makes them, I'm grateful for them, that we don't have to go without them. That we can lead into corsets. Now, because corsets originally, they were invented as sort of a bra, not as a waist pincher to make your waist smaller. They were first seen in the Western world. I was telling you earlier, I don't know about Asia. I would love to know about other cultures and how the bras and things like that evolved. But corsets were originally designed as sort of a bra to hold your breasts up and not to make your waist small. And they were first seen around 1300. But then they were worn all through those periods of time. And then in the 19th and 20th century, women started wearing these corsets that were actually made out of whalebone, boned, to keep our waists smaller. Gradually, the trend was to have this tiny hourglass kind of a figure. And so they had these corsets that were really tight. And women were discouraged to not wear them because they were considered unhealthy. They gave women constipation and indigestion. And if any of you have seen the movie Gone with the Wind, she said, "I'm not going to be able to eat anything at the barbecue. My waist is cinched so tight." Yeah. You know, and it said women largely ignored those warnings because they wanted to look better.
Right.
So in today's world, sometimes men are blamed for making women wear those things when in reality women want to look good for their men and they kind of diminish it.
Well, it's interesting that you were just describing a history that I think is recently repeating itself. Because now we have in this day and age, we have the waist trainer that are really popular with some women. And what you spoke to earlier about wanting to have the hourglass figure, that's all coming back. And a lot of celebrities, I think, have kind of been responsible for bringing that back. But there's also controversy about if it's healthy, just like what you were just describing. It's so funny how we've come all the way back around to achieve that small waist. And I don't think it has anything to do with men pressuring women to have the small waist, although that could be a part of it.
Well, men like it, but it's not like they're going to be angry with us if we refuse to do it.
Right.
Some women naturally have small waists, and some of the rest of us who don't think, I want one of those. And then if it's offered to us, we're gonna try it because we will sacrifice a lot. We'll be uncomfortable to feel attractive.
Exactly.
Women have always done this, and you can't really blame men for that. And but today there's the waist trainers, but there's also, aren't they called body shapers? It's kind of the today's answer to corsets. It's
more of the undergarment Spanx era that we've approached, which I think is fantastic. I think
to get rid of bumps and lumps.
Yes, it's not as binding as a corset. It's actually somewhat comfortable depending on the brand and how much of it you're wearing, but it's a confidence booster for sure.
Yes,
to wear those things under your clothes, and they can be a little expensive, and they can be it can be an investment. But I think I really love that how we've evolved from this, like what you were saying about the whale
Well,
going corsets and like thank goodness, I'm so glad that we don't feel the pressure to wear those anymore, because that just sounds, so
painful.
Painful. And in today's world, I mean, I don't know, back when they used to wear these corsets, I don't know how they did it with all the things that they had to do. They didn't have cars. Like they had to ride in carriages or horses. Like I can only imagine having to wear all of that.
The other interesting thing I found about corsets is shortly after the United States entered World War I, the U.S. asked industries to stop buying these corsets. They've switched whalebone for metal kind of rods in these corsets to free them up for the war effort, for war production. And it said this liberated about 28,000 tons of metal, enough to build 2 battleships.
Wow.
When women stopped using metal in their corsets during World War I.
Wow. That's interesting.
That's a lot of corsets.
Yeah.
And that's how much metal it saved. That's how much.
So did they begin to stop wearing them, or did they just switch the materials?
They stopped putting, I don't know what they put in there instead of metal.
Women weren't wearing corsets as much in the 20s.
That's true. The style, maybe that's partly why the style changed. But then, of course, it came back in the 40s. Corsets, I remember my grandmother talking to me about having to put her girdle on. And I don't think they were metal lined or anything like that then. They had hooks and eyes.
But it sounds to me like it's evolved with the names as well. Like they were no longer calling it a corset. And in the 40s and 50s, they started calling it a girdle.
Yeah.
And, it has evolved, and now we're calling them waist trainers. So it's like...
Or shapers, body shapers.
You're changing names for some reason. I don't know why.
That makes it sound more new. But really, ladies, it's still a corset. It's just in a different name.
The form of a corset, yeah. Interesting. Okay.
So now stiletto heels, another torture device. Now you like them?
Love stilettos. I don't wear them very much, but I do love them.
Hang on. I love the idea of stilettos. It's just that they are painful. Stilettos are higher heels than kitten heels. And, there's different height of heels.
A stiletto heel is a long, thin, high heel found on some boots and shoes. Stiletto heels may vary in length from 2.5 centimeters, which is 1 inch, to 25 centimeters, which is 10 inches.
10?
Or more if a platform sole is used, and are sometimes defined as having a diameter at the ground of less than 1 inch. So an inch is considered to be...
An inch and above.
Mm-hmm. That's actually not very, very tall.
No, an inch is almost a kitten heel.
Yeah, and I think, it depends too on like it said in the definition, on the sole. Like I personally don't think they're very uncomfortable when you have a very thick sole. I actually find them to be quite comfortable. Okay, but I've also a lot of years of wearing them to work.
Well, it says, the research I did said that the narrow heel, which we usually think of as stilettos, not the clunky ones, has been around since the 1940s. And they're a symbol of sex and fashion and femininity, and they emphasize our figures.
Yes.
That's why we like them. They force us to walk with our rear end a little more out and our chest up. We feel more girly and feminine in them, and you just do. And they accentuate the differences between men and women, which we like, and obviously men like. But I also think they make you look more slender because they make you look taller.
No, they definitely do. I mean, it obviously depends on your outfit and what you're wearing, but I think, there's a reason why when you see the pageants, like the Miss America and all those things, all those pageants, there's a reason why all those women are wearing really high heels. Maybe not the super tall women, but most of the women are wearing a significantly high heel. It makes their figure look better when they walk. There's so many benefits to a high heel. It's just unfortunate that they're oftentimes so uncomfortable.
Well, there's a very famous shoe designer. He's the one whose soles are all red. The soles of his shoes are red.
Mm-hmm.
And very beautiful, very expensive shoes. And I saw a documentary on him once, and the interviewer asked him, "Are your shoes comfortable?" And he said, "No, they're designed for fashion, not for..."
No.
And I thought, for $4,000 for a pair, it should be comfortable, but no, they're probably...
Yeah, I obviously don't own any of those, but I have tried on several pairs of, not as many Louboutins, but Manolo Blahniks. And I actually thought they were somewhat comfortable. I mean, they're obviously not, pillows. It's not like you're walking on pillows, but it's the look. He's right. It's the look. It's how they make you feel, not how they actually feel.
That's true. And women will always be attracted to things that make them look better. They always will, in spite of, and that's why women are willing to go to do a lot of things for beauty. It's part of our nature.
I was just looking who invented the high heel. I can't pronounce his name.
Right?
I don't want to butcher it. It was in the 40s. Christian Dior brought back French shoe styles after World War II, lifting the heels on court shoes and making them more ornate. Oh, I didn't realize that Dior had a big part of making
Well, in the Middle Ages, women wore high heels too, but they were more like the Chinese shoes, the platform.
Yeah. It says shoe designer Roger Vivier, who worked for Dior, took credit for inventing the first stiletto heel. He used plastic innovations to create a slender heel of incredible strength, which he called the needle.
That's very interesting. And by the way, that's a good point.
So a man invented the stiletto.
Yes, but women went for it. And the man who invented it did not wear them. But when you think of it, a stiletto heel is narrow. Mm-hmm. It has to be strong enough to handle your weight. My brother once figured out, I wish I could remember how many pounds per square inch there is on a woman who weighs, say, 125 pounds, how much weight is actually concentrated on that heel, like if you stepped on his hand.
No, that's a good point, that it can't break. I mean, I know that they sometimes break, but for the most part, they're built
very strong.
Kind of amazing that they can hold us.
Yeah.
High heels were originally worn by men. And that's true, right? That dates back to men used to wear those little blocks, right?
Yes, but they weren't like forcing your weight on.
No, they weren't high heels, but they wore heels.
And they call those in men lifts. Like a lift to make you look taller.
If you look back at the old, like I'm talking like the white wig days, men were actually wearing little tiny.
Yes, they did. Yeah, they did.
And women wore them too. It was almost like everyone.
Yeah, women. Yeah. Women always want to look beautiful, and they want to look slender and taller, and men want to look taller. That's why we put up with some of these things, and maybe not when we're cleaning our house, but we do put up with these things for beauty, and that's how we are, and that's a little bit of our history.
I think it's great too to go through all these things. Like when I'm going through them, I'm just saying, oh, I have like a higher appreciation for what we go through. And it's not that we go through it for men, but we obviously feel better, and that's why we do it. But women, we do a lot. We do a lot to be attractive, and you should give yourself, you're always saying, be kind to yourself. And I think this is along that same theme of just being appreciative of what we do and what we kind of.
I like to look attractive or feel attractive, even if I don't get to see my husband for days. Mm-hmm. I'm going to put that bra on. I'm not going to go without a bra. No matter who's around, I'm going to wear it. And I'm grateful to the scientists who figured that out, because it's made our life a whole lot more comfortable.
Yes, and I'm grateful that we don't have to wear it, that society doesn't say you have to wear a corset every single day. Like, I'm really grateful that there are so many options now for us to wear. There's even cute flats that we can wear. I'm really grateful that we have all of that, and I wouldn't have probably thought about it if we hadn't talked about this today. So thank you so much for sharing all of your wonderful fact finding. And everyone, please comment below if you have any questions or we left anything out about bras, corsets.
I'm sure there's more. We'd love to hear more.
We'd love to hear more. Yeah, we didn't even touch on some of the, like you said, other parts of the world and what their history is. So we'd love to hear from you if you have any comments. And we're here every week, so don't forget to check back with us next time. We'll see you then. Bye.
Bye.